Hello, all my Sparhawk sweetie pies. I miss seeing you so much. Pretty soon we'll be back to school and playing and learning together. But right now, we have to visit one another over the internet, through the airways. And here I am. What I'd like to do is I'd like to read a story to you, and it's one that my daughter, Lauren, liked very much when she was little. I don't know if you know the story, but it's called RoxaBoxen, and it's written by Alice McLerran, and it's illustrated by Barbara Cooney. And she was a prize winner for her illustrations. She won 2 times. She won a Caldecott medal because everybody liked her artwork so much. Let's see what you think. I'll try to show you the pictures as I read. I'm still learning about how to do this. Thank you. RoxaBoxen. Marion called it RoxaBoxen. She always knew the name of everything. There across the road, it looked like any rocky hill. Nothing but sand and rocks, some old wooden boxes, cactus and greasewood, and thorny ocotillo. But it was a special place. The street between RoxaBoxen and the houses curved like a river, so Marion named it the River Road. After that, you had to ford a river to reach RoxaBoxen. Of course, all of Marion's sisters came. Alice May, and Frances, and little Jean, Charles from next door, even though he was 12. Oh, and Eleanor, naturally, and Jamie with her brother Paul. Later on, there were others, but these were the first. Well, not really the first. RoxaBoxen had always been there and must have belonged to others long before. When Marion dug up a tin box filled with round black pebbles, everyone knew what it was. It was a buried treasure. Those pebbles were the money of RoxaBoxen. You could still find others like them if you looked hard enough, so some days became treasure hunting days with everybody trying to find that special kind. And then on other days, you might just find one without even looking. A town of RoxaBoxen began to grow. Traced in lines of stone, Main Street first, edged with the whitest one, and then the houses. Charles made his of the biggest stones. After all, he was the oldest. At first, the houses were very plain, but soon they all began to add more rooms. The old wooden boxes could be shelves or tables or anything you wanted. You could find pieces of pottery for dishes. Round pieces were best. I'll bet you could do something like this. Build a town maybe in your backyard. Later on, there was a town hall. Marion was mayor, of course. That was just the way she was. Nobody minded. After a while, they added other streets. Frances moved to one of them and built her house a new house outlined in desert glass. Bits of amber, amethyst, and sea green, a house of jewels. I would like that very much. I bet you would too. And this part too. And because everybody had plenty of money, there were plenty of shops. Jean helped Anna May in the bakery. Pies and cakes and bread warmed in the sun. There were 2 ice cream parlors. Was Paul's ice cream the best or Eleanor's? Everybody kept trying both. In RoxaBoxen, you can eat all the ice cream you want. That's pretty good. Everybody had a car. All you needed was something round for a steering wheel. Of course, if you broke the speed limit, you had to go to jail. The jail had cactus on the floor to make it uncomfortable, and Jamie was the policeman. Anna May, quiet Anna May, was always speeding. You'd think she liked to go to jail. If you had a horse, you could go as fast as the wind. There were no speed limits for horses, and you didn't have to stay on the roads. All you needed for a horse was a stick and some kind of bridle, and you could gallop anywhere. Sometimes there were wars. We have rules about that at Sparhawk on the playground, don't we? You have to keep everybody safe, but I think these kids were very good at keeping safe. Once there was a great war, boys against girls. Charles and Marion were the generals. The girls had Fort Irene. The boys made a fort at the other end of RoxaBoxen. Oh, the raids were fierce, loud, with whooping and stamping of horses. The whirling of swords of Ocotillo had sharp thorns, but when you reached your fort, you were safe. RoxaBoxen had a cemetery, but the only grave in it was for a dead lizard. Each year when the cactus bloomed, they decorated the grave with flowers. Sometimes in the winter, when everybody was at school and the weather was bad, no one went to RoxaBoxen at all, not for weeks and weeks. But it didn't matter. RoxaBoxen was always there, was always waiting. Just like Sparhawk. You're at home for 2 weeks so far, and Sparhawk is still there waiting for you, waiting for all of us to come back when we can. And spring came and the Ocotillo blossomed, and everybody built new rooms, and everybody decided to have jeweled windows. That summer, there were 3 new houses on the east slope and 2 new shops on Main Street. And so it went. The seasons changed, and the years went by, and RoxaBoxen was always there. The years went by, and the seasons changed, until at last the friends had all grown tall, and one by one moved away to other towns and other houses. So you might think that was the end of RoxaBoxen, but oh no, because no one ever forgot RoxaBoxen. Not one of them ever forgot. Years later, Marion's children listened to stories of that place and fell asleep dreaming dreams of RoxaBoxen. Gray-haired Charles picked up a black pebble on the beach and stood holding it, remembering RoxaBoxen. More than 50 years later, Frances went back, and RoxaBoxen was still there. She could see the white stones bordering Main Street, and there where she had built her house, the desert glass still glowed. Amber, amethyst, and sea green. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story, and I'll see you again later.